because I heard that you were Amelia's hairdresser and you knew her for many years. Obviously, you worked closely with her. When she was in your shop, did she ever share anything suspicious, or did you ever hear anything odd?
Well, she didn't tell me anything, but I heard from the person sitting next to my chair that her mom actually had some sort of mental illness going on. I don't know what,
Oh, wow.
but she got typhus, that really bad disease. And after she got over that, she had some mental breakdown and was having like violent outbursts, and Amelia was taking care of her. And then I also heard more recently, because her mom died a while ago, I heard more recently that Amelia's been getting into those opioid stuff and drinking a lot. Like I think she's off her rocker. And I also heard that she tried to commit suicide, but that was just from speculation. I just heard that. Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing.
Of course, absolutely.
So Ellen, you knew Amelia for a long time, and you guys worked together, right?
Yes.
So you're a midwife?
Yes.
Okay, and you were the one who actually introduced her to baby farming.
Yes, I did. So she was telling me how she was struggling financially recently. Her and her family had become estranged. She seemed hopeless, just very down in the dumps. And I introduced her to baby farming. I heard of other women doing it to help them financially and help take care of the women who had a baby out of wedlock and help the babies as well. I figured since she was also a nurse, she would be a great candidate. As soon as I found out about everything, it just broke my heart, and I really hope that the families can find peace within the whole situation. And I never would have introduced this to her if I knew that this was going to happen.
Is that something that you're struggling with currently? Is there like some guilt behind there?
I am. I feel very guilty, and it's just a terrible thing.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
So first of all, we just want to give you our condolences for everything that happened. I wanted to ask, when did you first start having suspicions that something was wrong with your baby?
When I first saw her ads in the newspaper, I was very trusting of her. I had no reason to doubt her. Then, after a few months, when my letters went unanswered and I was denied visitation of my child, I began to feel suspicious. I was also told the wrong address when Amelia was moving. Once I realized the truth, it was hard to forgive myself for what had happened.
Well, we just want you to know that none of that is your fault. You had no idea. How could you?
Thank you.
So today we have with us one of the police officers from the investigation. Could you go ahead and tell us a little bit about that and the killer in general?
Yeah, of course. Let me just look in the file. So we have classified her as a comfort-oriented serial killer, which means she kills for personal gain. With Miss Dyer, the case here is money. Usually those type of killers are females, which Miss Dyer is. And she was hard to catch because she kept relocating and changing up her names. So what made us suspicious is finding the bodies in the river and getting a report from that. And we were led to Miss Thompson, which was one of the names that she used in order to cover up her crimes. So it was hard to catch her, and we decided to just send someone in and pretend for her to be one of the ladies that would usually refer to Miss Thompson. Instead, we showed up and we looked over at the place. There was a stench of human decomposition. There were many evidences that led to her crimes, such as the edging tape, the adoption arrangements, pawn tickets. She also had letters from many mothers. So yeah, and she admitted to her crimes during the court.
It's crazy that it took almost 30 years to finally catch her. Yeah, the first time she got out, right? After like about 6 months or something?
Oh yeah, she did. It wasn't even referred to as a crime. She just had to do some,
interesting.
Yeah, personal work.
Well, thank you for sharing.
Yeah, of course.
So, Miss Dyer, we called you in today because we wanted to give you a chance to explain yourself and your crimes and your motives from the source. So, what do you have to say?
Well, I've already given most of my testimony in 2 notebooks full in the prison. However, I rightly enjoyed the money that I was able to get for these babies on my baby farm.
So you don't regret it at all?
Not in the slightest. I loved the way I would put the dressmaker's tape. And by the way, if you find any more in the River Thames, any more of these babies, you will know them by the white tape around their necks. I did quite enjoy that. It wasn't enough for me just letting them slowly die with my mother's helper cocktail of opium. I needed a little more money. I was a woman who was a widower. My husband had died, so I needed the money.
So that was your ultimate motivation, the money?
It was a combination. I liked the money, but I also enjoyed the job. I rightly did. And no one else was really involved with me and my daughter and son-in-law. You can totally rule them out. This was all me.
Well, I don't think that's true, is it?
Oh, it was.
Okay.
In my confession, I said that they should not be considered.
You also
As
pled
accomplices.
insanity, though.
I did. And I had a very hard childhood. My mother, the typhus and everything.
I would say a lot of people had hard childhoods. That doesn't necessarily mean they kill 400 babies.
No. Maybe they don't like it as much as I do. You dredge that River Thames, and you'll know it was me.
Okay, well, thank you.